Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to Mr. B Cooks. Subscribers appreciate you. New viewers, you gotta become subscribers so that you can get awesome recipes like the one we're gonna do today, which is a dessert recipe, perfect for holidays, perfect for entertaining. And it's a remix of the Hershey pie that we already have up, so you can check that video out too. Let's jump right in. In my pot, just like the Hershey pie, I've got 32 regular size marshmallows. It was a 16-ounce bag, but again, 32 of those. I'm also using a Hershey's milk chocolate bar. This happens to be the 7-ounce, or just look for the giant. You can also use 5 regular size if you can't find that. To that, I have some milk and some pumpkin puree. We'll talk about that in a second. Half a cup of milk. Get that out of the way. This is a 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon, nutmeg, and allspice, typical pumpkin pie spices. So we talked about the pumpkin puree. It's a 15-ounce can. Make sure you're getting pure pumpkin. You don't want the pumpkin pie pre-made filling because that's going to have all kinds of seasonings and stuff in it. So that's half of the can basically. So 7.5 ounces. And then I've got a chocolate cookie crust. So basically think Oreo or whatever. You can buy them pre-bought, or you can crush up Oreos in a blender food processor and press it down into there with a little bit of butter. All right, so we're going to turn this on to about a 4 or 5. You can do this over a double boiler if you're worried about burning the chocolate. But basically, once it gets a little bit of heat to it, all we're going to do is stir until this all combines. So it'll probably take about 5 to 10 minutes to get this all the way down. We want to melt everything down into a nice sauce consistency. We'll be back then. All right, you can see that everything is melted down. And again, if you're not using a double boiler, you got to keep this moving or you'll burn the chocolate on the bottom. So I'm going to slide this off the heat. We're going to come over to our last ingredient before we pour the filling into the pie crust. This is a 16-ounce Cool Whip topping, just regular whip topping. And I'm going to take half of that, so 8 ounces of this. And this has been allowed to thaw out a little bit because if you're familiar, Cool Whip comes frozen. As you can see, the Cool Whip is all incorporated now, and it's got a much more velvety texture to it. So we're going to head over to our pie crust, and we're going to pour this in. Now, there will be more than what will fit in this. I have 2 suggestions. Save it, or pour it into some miniature pie crust that you can get at the store. However you want to do that. It's just chocolate and marshmallow and pumpkin and stuff. So I will show you. I'm going to leave just maybe 1/8 of an inch, if that, space. I don't want to top it over the crust, so that's probably pretty good. So there's maybe a ladle full left, and that's usually what I end up with, and that's okay. Again, if you have those little miniature cups, you can do that. This is going to go in the fridge for at least an hour or so until this sets up. I'm covering it just so that if there's any odors in your refrigerator or whatever that other food might cross-contaminate with the smell, you don't want that. And then we just got to let it set. So we'll see you in about an hour. See you then. In a couple of hours, again, you just have to let it sit till it sets up, and it usually takes about an hour. Now you know why we don't fill it past that, so that the top doesn't stick. But that is nice to set. So I have that other half of the Cool Whip that we didn't put into the pie filling. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this other half on from the big tub of Cool Whip. And then we just spread this out. And it is ready to serve. Typically I set it back in for a minute or 2 just to let the Cool Whip kind of set up again. Alright, so we got it completely covered, so I'm just going to put this lid back on, and it's okay if some of the topping smashes out. But again, you can make this ahead and let it sit overnight. We'll come back once we get that with it, and we'll cut a slice out so you can see what it looks like when it's all set up. Alright, you can see that I've already started cutting into this guy because, well, my family can't wait for any kind of chocolate pie. But you can see, once it's fully set like this, it actually holds together pretty well. And we'll scoop up really nice and clean. And that is all there is to a delicious pumpkin Hershey pie. You know the drill. Subscribe, share, like, comments down below. Ring that bell for the alerts. Check back for the next video, and as always, take care.